Centers for Disease Control and Prevention stated that in 2010, 7 teens ages 16 through 19 died every day from motor vehicle injuries. That said, 49 teens die a week, 217 teens die a month, and 2,604 teenagers die a year. Now, my opponent would like you to believe that teens need experiences to grow, that they need complete freedom to do what they want while they drive. But do I have to ask you why teens need experiences to know how deadly a 3,500-pound vehicle moving at 65 miles per hour can become? For those 2,604 teens, that experience ended in death. Kenny Ruzika, how many more of these tragedies need to occur before we open our eyes to what's going on around us? And now, I'm a teenager and I understand that want, that thrill to drive. But let me ask you, what's the rush? When you heat up your food, why scarf it down when you can't even taste it? Why not wait a minute, 2, for it to cool so you can eat it without burning your mouth? The average American lives 78.4 years. You take that number, subtract it by 18, the amount of years it takes to become a legal adult, and you get 60.4. That is 60 years to drive as a legal adult. And when you're an adult, you get adult driving privileges. So why should we grant those same privileges to a 16 or 17-year-old? Teens are more likely than older drivers to underestimate or not even notice dangerous or hazardous situations, according to the Disease Control and Prevention. Springfield Public Schools did research that said teens have the lowest seatbelt rate than any other age group. They also found out that 50% of teens report driving at least 10 miles per hour over the speed limit at times. And with crash risk increasing dramatically every mile per hour over the speed limit, with it, so does your chance of dying. InsureYouOnline.org stated that 44% of teens would speak up if someone drove in a way that scared them. That is 56%. 56% of teens that will sit there while a preoccupied driver drove like a maniac on the road, gambling with not only his life, but your life too. This proves that teenagers cannot be trusted. And if my team hasn't convinced you yet, you will want this bill to pass. When you see that look in your friend's face when he gets into a wreck with his brother. When you see him outside the ER door room, hands in face, body shaking, waiting to hear the news. When you see the constant sobbing of tears, tears of guilt, tears of regret, flow down his face like a river when the nurse tells him that the person he cared about most is dead. The thoughts in his mind become his worst enemy when guilt takes over. He thinks, I should have told him to put a seatbelt on. I could have turned down the radio. I should have. I could have. But he can't. And finally, you will want this bill to pass when you see your friend at his brother's funeral while the child lays there lifeless in an open casket. That is what House Bill 204 will prevent. And for you teens that think you are a good driver, you might be. But you have nothing on people that have been doing this daily on the road for 10, 20, 30 years. Teens should be under special protection while driving because the roads belong to the adults. You may feel different now, but you would feel the same way when you are a 40-year-old with your kids in the car. You see, the two main differences between teen and adult driving is experience and judgment. Adults have this, teens do not. As you grow older, you mature. And when you mature, your judgment becomes better. Experience just has to be gained over time. And with a probationary license, you will get that experience you need while driving. And at the same time, waiting those 2 extra years to get a real license as an adult, your judgment becomes better. Inexperience and misjudgment leads to accidents. And an accident could be small or it could be major. And those major accidents result in death. And when death occurs in an accident, you get charged for a vehicular manslaughter. Then you can say goodbye to whatever future plans you had in life because not only is your life gone, but so is the person you killed. And I know you have all heard the saying, the truth hurts. And in this case, it does. Even though you want to drive as soon as possible, you should definitely wait. Because with you out on the road, you are endangering all the men, all the women, all the children out there with you. So is your impatience to wait 2 years really that much more important than a family's life? And for you out there that think this is dumb, which is most of you teenagers, listen up. 90% of teenagers find passenger behavior distracting to them, according to Springfield Public Schools. Therefore, House Bill 204 states that with a probationary license, you can drive with one passenger that is over the age of 21 with a license, or a family member. Problem solved. Also, according to NHTSA.gov, 41% of teen automobile deaths occur between the hours of 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. House Bill 204 states that you are not allowed to drive between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., cutting out 78% of that dangerous nighttime driving. Problem solved. This bill is not perfect, but it is a start. It is a seed that will sprout and save the lives of the next generation, the current one, and the generations previous. That sprouting will grow into a tree that will save the lives and hopefully spread over all other places in the United States until there is a forest of lives saved. Young, old, male, female, black, white, it doesn't matter. Your life will be saved. House Bill 204 may irritate the teens of America, but in the end, what does it do? It saves a life. Now you tell me which is better, an irritated teen or a dead one. 7 teens die a day from motor vehicle crashes. That is 2,604 teens a year. Eventually, it's bound to happen to somebody near us. And I bet if you asked any of those 2,604 teens, they would want this bill to pass. Because most of them were doing, or was the victim, of the very thing that got them killed. The very thing this bill is trying to prevent. The debate topic today is over whether House Bill 204 will keep young drivers safe. And I say at the point we are now, anything we do to keep action will keep young drivers safe. Especially House Bill 204.